Hi, I'm Patty Bell, and I'm trying to live like Leonardo, not DiCaprio, Leonardo da Vinci, right? So I've been thinking about how would Leonardo do this, or what would Leonardo do? And today I'm going to share some of my notebooks and sketchbooks with you to sort of emphasize how I can live more like Leonardo and get back in touch with that journaling, sketchbooking, drawing, all of those things. I went to art and design school in the 1980s, early 1980s. So there weren't really any computers, and we were, I'm going to use the word, indoctrinated into keeping sketchbooks and notebooks and journals, particularly sketchbooks. And I'll be honest with you, I really didn't get the hang of that until I was in my 20s. So I kind of fumbled my way through school trying to meet that, indoctrination of, the sketchbook and the holiness of the sketchbook, etc. And I really wanted to be that kind of artist, that kind of designer, that kind of student that really, worked in it every day and, really poured my heart and my soul into it. But I really didn't get the hang of that until probably 24, 25, in the mid to late 20s. So, since then, though, I have lived through the book, and I just started a new one. You want to peek inside? Here. This is the opening for my new idea book, and this is actually a treasure map. So instead of a vision board, I've created a treasure map for 2025. That's when I'm recording this. But maybe you would like to see some of my others. I love looking inside of people's sketchbooks and notebooks and things. So I would like to share some of those with you, a variety of them. I'm just going to take you right over to my drafting table and give you a peek inside. I've worked with a variety of different kinds of idea books, journals, sketchbooks, whatever you want to call them. This is my favorite book. It's a Fabriano Ecco Qua. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but and I like the grid on the inside, as you can see. So I buy these in batches and then just go through them. So I'm going to give you a little tour of some of these first, and you'll see it's a variety. This one's from 2021, and I keep all different kinds of Post-its and notes. And you'll see how they have varied over the years. This is one of my mind maps on different things that I'm working on. I'm still working on this book, but it is coming along, and it will be out this year. Yep, this is the book that will be out this year. And you can see I'm documenting like hospital visits and things like that along the way, trainings that I'm taking, other things that I'm learning. So it's thinking through the projects I'm working on, the courses that I'm taking, all different kinds of things. Let's see, this one is from 2016. So you'll see I was doing some different things then. And I was playing around with different ways of journaling. And I think this was primarily a writing journal, although I did do some other things in here. But this was like a little daily writing journal. And then this is where I first started doing body mapping. And I'm just playing around with a stencil that I got from my dermatologist here. But you'll see how that progresses as I go through. Like, I'm starting right here. I'm starting to document my body mapping in different ways. So you can see I've got maps, trips. This was to Vermont. And, you know, I come up with like a little title for each of the days. And then I make notes. Here we are. This is where I really get into the body mapping. This one was for, I think, trauma healing or something along those lines. And here I'm starting to document on a daily or weekly basis how I'm feeling in my body, how my body is feeling, and incorporating that. So I think, you know, this is interesting because I didn't realize I'd started this practice toward the end of 2016. I like this. And then year end complete. So this one, I'm not sure when this one's from. This one is 2014, 2015, and I'm not going to bore you with all the pages, but you can see, you know, I'm playing around. I document trips, or I don't have many of those anymore, so I don't have a whole lot of those cut and paste things, but I'm making sketches and notes. This is actually for some workshops that I was teaching at the time, drawing is meditation, and working through. I was also working on a book at that time about drawing meditation. So here are some notes from workshops that I attended. So if I go to a conference or a workshop, then I'll take notes, something along the lines of that, so that I just remember things better. And they've done tests and studies around drawing and writing by hand and how that affects our cognition. So I've got some, yes, these are some of the things from the drawing meditation book and the drawing meditation workshops that I taught for years, and had a virtual drawing meditation sangha online for a couple of years. So that's another one. So you can see these are all sort of, you know, my, you know, working through life. Here was another, you know, this was all journal writing, not my ideas or my work or anything, but how I was journaling at the time. And you can see I'm playing with formats and trying to mix it up and see, you know, how I want to draw and document my daily life. This one's even earlier, 2013. So we're going back in time. We're moving backwards in time. But you can see some themes. I mean, mind maps are my love language, if that's a thing. This is for a talk I was preparing at the time on drawing as a part of the design thinking process and drawing for design. So I'm working through the presentation, the talk preparation, more mind maps, different blog stuff at the time. Here are some experiments from a drawing conference. Actually, I was doing sketch notes of this drawing conference, drawing research and practice, from some groups that I used to participate in on drawing and cognition. These are some iPhone drawings that I made back in, I would say 2008, 2009, when I was a Fulbright scholar in Norway, and then I continued making these. And this is another presentation that I made on the process of drawing with a stylus and how much different it is than pencil or pen on surface. So in stylus on glass versus pencil and pen on surface. So you can see I'm doing videos and I'm really examining, you know, I can't remember what I called it, but it was something like pointless, you know, examining the pointless or whatever. So I have calendars and, you know, this is when I went to England and met up with some of my drawing research buddies and touring around there, 2014 was a good year. These are some other things that I was working on in my other sketchbooks. So a lot of sketch notes. This one is 2015, 2016 again. I know what I wanted to show you in here was a training that I went to on facilitation by design. And this is really when I went professional with my facilitation. But these are my notes from the workshop. So I'm making these as the training. It was a 2 full-day training in New York City. So I'm making these notes as we're going through the training. And this really helped bring the learnings home and make them my own. So you can see, sometimes I'll do this while listening to an audio. This one is, I believe, no, actually this was a community call. That was a phone call before everyone was on Zoom, and we were still doing just audio calls. Those were my notes from a live call. This is from another training. This is to promote drawing meditation workshop. So I'm creating the design in the book, and then I just scan this and use it. So yeah, so that's my kind of daily idea processing, making, moving through life. This one's really different, but I have to show it to you because I think you'll get a kick out of it. This is my sewing journal. So I used to be really into hand sewing. You can see I've got swatches that I've created of the patterns and learning how to hand sew all different kinds of garments. Let's see what else, see if I have any pictures of some of the garments. Here we go. This is one of the garments I created, right, after I made those samples and figured out how to do the method. This is Alabama Channon. This is another top that I made out of my daughter's old t-shirts. I really love that. And then here I'm testing different fabric markers to see how well they write and if they're going to work for some experiments that I was doing at the time. So yeah, so just a peek inside my sewing journal. And then way, way back in 2000, 1999, 1998, 1999, 2000, I was in grad school getting my MFA in digital discourse, and I wasn't keeping a book at the time, but basically just printing and documenting everything that kind of came through my computer, my email, all of the correspondence, the thinking about the different projects I was working on. And then I just had a box. I would throw everything in the box, and then at the end I would create a binding. I would have it bound. You can see I would have this interior bound, and then I would bring it home. I can actually hand bind books, and then I created this binding. So I got the insides commercially perfect bound, and then glued them into a hardcover that I created with my own images and things. So I have 3 of these or maybe more. Actually, maybe I have 8 or so. But these are the ones I put my hands on. But you can see I'm making videos and interactive media, and I'm working through some ideas and communicating with my faculty, et cetera, et cetera. So those are kind of fun. And then lastly, these are more traditional sketchbooks. Like I'm drawing, these are perfect. These are for art's sake, but they're made from scraps of other books and letters from friends and lovers and boyfriends and etc. So I took a bunch of my old letters and had them bound into these books. And this one I use really for experimenting and playing and messing up, and I don't care what happens in this book. I'm just, trying out materials, playing around with different techniques, and a lot of these are done with my eyes closed. Really using this in my drawing meditation workshops. And then this one is more purposeful. And I started this one when I was on a trip in Paris in France with my daughter in 2017, and my phone was stolen the first day we arrived in France. And I started this sketchbook, and I've really been very sort of meticulous and particular about what mediums I use, the colors I use. It's still about the drawing meditation, but it has more of a feeling and a theme throughout. And then you can see it's old love letters and letters from friends and things like that. But I'm being this has a look and a feel about it. And I'm staying true to that look and feel. It's not finished yet. I'll still probably be working on it for a few years. But you can see this one is just art for art's sake, drawing for drawing's sake, and it is so good for the brain and being. This is one of my favorite sources of dopamine, is working in a book like this. So you can see I'm playing around and having fun, and I still have a lot of pages to work with. So that's just a little inside sneak peek at some of my idea books, sketchbooks, documentation. I hope you enjoy, and I hope that you will share yours with me if you already have a practice. And if you don't already have a practice, I hope that you will start one and experiment. And as you can see, I've changed and I've done different things over the years, always doing something different and trying different things. And actually looking through these to make this video makes me want to experiment more and go back and try some more of those things that I started in some of these books. So I hope you enjoyed.